time takes everybody out. Time is undefeated. When it comes to athletes, one thing is certain. They're always fighting against their career clock, and eventually, with enough time, they'll watch as players they once were superior to pass them by. And in the case of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, we could not have a more amazing and extreme example, because as you are about to see, the first time that Michael played a young Kobe, it wasn't even close. Kobe didn't look like he belonged on the same court as Michael, and to put this simply, he got embarrassed, which was fine. Plenty of young NBA players were embarrassed by Mike when they entered the league, only as time went on. Even when Mike was with the Wizards, he still told Kobe that he would never fill his shoes. And that is why it must have been so satisfying when in their last matchup ever against each other, Michael Jordan watched as the torch was passed. He watched as Kobe Bryant went out onto the court and not only dominated him, but let the world know he was now officially better than Michael Jordan at this point. And as you're about to see, Jordan was left in awe. So what's up guys, Mike here, and today I've got a great one for you. We are looking at the first time that Kobe Bryant was embarrassed by Michael Jordan, and then we are looking at Kobe Bryant's revenge. So all I've got to say is please make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and please like this video. It helps me out a ton with YouTube's algorithm. Now with that said, the story of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is complicated, long, and goes all the way back to Kobe's rookie season, so let's just start right away with their first ever matchup. Now the world didn't know it yet, but they were watching as two of the best players to ever play the game faced off for the first time, and a young Kobe was ready to rise up in one of the biggest moments of his early career. Kobe was quoted as saying before this game, "When I have the chance to guard Michael Jordan, I want to guard him. I want him, it's the ultimate challenge." Which is great to hear. You always want to see a young player be competitive, and this also made a lot of sense, especially when you consider that from the time Kobe began playing in the NBA, he was compared to Jordan, and Michael certainly knew this going into their first matchup. And so, to be very blunt here, by the time this game was over, Michael Jordan had annihilated Kobe and the Lakers, and at this point in his career, while Kobe may have wanted a challenge, that challenge certainly proved to be just too much for him. Watching this game, Kobe does match up against Mike early in the second quarter, and Mike just blows by him for a dunk. Welcome to the league, Kobe. After this, Mike would go off in the second quarter and score 16 points in this quarter alone. Then, looking at this game overall, not only did Mike outscore Kobe by a margin of 30 points to 5, but also the way the Bulls won was not only an embarrassment to Kobe, it was an embarrassment to the entire Lakers team, because with just around 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game, the Chicago Bulls were down by 19 points, and the Lakers should have cruised to a win here. Only in what seems like destiny, Kobe was forced to watch as Jordan's Bulls made a miraculous comeback. Now, pay attention here, because we are going to come full circle hard later in this video. It's actually crazy the events that will take place later on. As for now though, with around 11 minutes to go in the fourth, Kobe was subbed out, so he was not to blame for what took place in the fourth quarter. However, he certainly played his own part in this loss in overtime. And yes, I said overtime because in the last 9.5 minutes, the Bulls would suddenly catch on fire, and after 2 free throws from Tony Kukoc, this game was going to overtime. And it was here in overtime, after a monster Shaq goaltend on Scottie Pippen, that Kobe got his chance again. His chance to rise up to the challenge that was Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, and here's what happened.
You got to find his man, and his man is Van Exel, and they don't get it to him. Kobe Bryant misses the first. Yeah, tough spot for him to be in right now. And the second.
Even if there was a slimmer of a chance here, Kobe also missed this three-pointer when down by 6. So you've got to think this left a horrible taste in Kobe's mouth. He went into this game looking for a challenge, and he got one. He got opportunities to showcase his ability, but he just wasn't good enough, or at least wasn't good enough yet. And in a lot of ways, this was very much like Kobe's first playoff experience. Because if you didn't know, this season would end in the worst way imaginable for Kobe. Fast forward to the second round of the 1997 playoffs, and in Game 5 with the Lakers facing elimination, Kobe Bryant would have a chance to win the game in regulation.
8 seconds left. Bryant guarded by Russell. 5 seconds left. 4. Bryant drives. Pull out. Shot on the way. No good. Carvalho rebounds. We go to overtime.
Airball. Then in overtime, Kobe would airball a wide open 3. With 40 seconds left, another airball. And then down by 3 with a chance for redemption, this happened.
7 seconds. seconds. Here's a three-pointer, air ball at the rim by Kobe Bryant.
Another air ball. If anything, these two games in Kobe's rookie season should show you the absolute resilience this man had, because as we know, he would go on to become a playoff hero and a 5-time NBA champion. And in terms of getting revenge on Michael Jordan, let's start talking about that. And so as I've mentioned, this story comes full circle, and that happens fast with some help from Michael Jordan himself. As you might already know, Jordan really viewed Kobe as a younger brother by the end of Kobe's career, but even towards the beginning, Mike was always willing to give advice to Kobe that helped him grow into a better player. Then Mike retired again, and in the season after, in 1999, Kobe had evolved into a 20-point per game scorer in his third year, and would you look at that, a retired Michael Jordan came to watch Kobe play the Golden State Warriors in a game in April. And in this game, with around 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second quarter, the Lakers trailed by 28 points as they were down 47-19. Then, to make matters worse, with around 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second, this happened.
Or he's at the pick. Jimbo Cole pushes him away. And Shaq knocks Coles away. That'll be all for Shaq. Shaq's out of here.
At this point in time, the Lakers were still down by 24 points, and this looked like a complete blowout waiting to happen. I'm sure Mike was wondering if he should leave to catch an early tea time, but good thing he did not. It was quarter number 4 where Michael Jordan got to see Kobe Bryant's full potential on display. Because headed into the fourth quarter, the Lakers still trailed by 20 points, and remember, in Kobe's rookie season, he was on the bench when the Bulls had a big time comeback. This time, Mike was also watching from a courtside seat as Kobe immediately began the fourth quarter with an N1, and from there, he would go on a tear and help spark a huge Lakers comeback with 16 fourth quarter points, including this incredible play.
High arch, no good. Tipped up. It's in! Kobe Bryant tipped it in!
A huge tip-in at the buzzer that sent this game into overtime, and from there, the Lakers would go on to win, a massive achievement for Kobe as he did this without Shaq and in front of Michael Jordan. And you can be sure that Jordan was taking note of Kobe's improvement, as in the year leading up to the announcement that he was coming back, Jordan had this to say about Kobe. "It's the kind of ammunition that drives my competitive energies. The Kobes, the Vince Carters, I'd love to play against them." Obviously, there will be comparisons from here on out between Kobe and me, just as there were between me and Dr. J when I first came into the league. Then at his actual comeback press conference, Mike said, "I'm not running from nobody. If anything, it'll be a great challenge. I'm not saying that I could take Kobe Bryant, that I could take Tracy McGrady. You guys are the ones saying that they can take me. All good and fine. I'm pretty sure they're sitting back welcoming the challenge. Guess what? I'm sitting back welcoming the challenge too." As for Kobe's remarks on Mike, we'll finish off the video with that. For now, let's jump into Mike's comeback, because overall, when we look at the 8 games that Michael Jordan played versus Kobe Bryant, the stats are remarkably similar, and that is because Mike got the best of Kobe when Kobe was young, and then when Jordan returned, it was Kobe's turn to get his revenge. Only that didn't happen every game, as in their second to last meeting, the Lakers actually took a 1-point lead on a 3-pointer by Robert Horry when this happened.
Final look. Russell gives it back to Stackhouse. Oh, he did not! I cannot believe that Jerry Stackhouse got what was pretty much an uncontested layup.
How was Jerry Stackhouse that wide open? I have no idea, but what I do know is this: Mike let Kobe have it, because Kobe was wearing Jordans, and let's just listen to what Gilbert Arenas has to say about this game.
In Washington, Jordan gets that win. Jordan hits him on the butt and says, "You can put the shoes on, but you ain't gonna never feel them." That's basically what he was telling Kobe. You're never gonna feel these shoes. They say Kobe didn't talk to the team for 2 weeks. So they said, "Phil, what's up with Kobe? He mad at us?" It was like, "Nah, he ain't mad at you." He's like, "Yeah, he told him he can copy him all he want and do all that, but he'll never fulfill those shoes." They said they already knew what was about to happen against MJ when MJ came to LA.
This was tough to hear, but knowing Kobe, it was also fuel, and that meant that in his next game against Jordan, their final game against each other ever, Kobe was a man possessed. He would begin the first quarter with 19 points, and he finished the first half with a ridiculous 42 points in a single half. What? Out of all of Kobe's legendary moments, I feel like this one kind of gets swept under the radar, and I do want to point out that in the third quarter, Kobe and Mike's friendship was on full display, as Jordan drew a charge from Kobe, and as we can can see, a laughing Kobe picked up Mike, and apparently when Kobe was looking down at him, Jordan told Kobe, well, everybody in the f***ing building knew you weren't gonna pass. Kobe would finish this night off with an incredible 55 points, and with this game, he officially got his revenge and got the better of Michael Jordan in their final matchup. But I do have to say, while this is an extremely cool story because it really shows Kobe and Mike's relationship coming full circle, when looking back, Kobe doesn't seem concerned at all about his final game against Mike. As Kobe has said, he's like my big brother. I truly hate having discussions about who would win one-on-one. Your fans saying, hey Kobe, you beat Michael one-on-one. I'm like, yo, what you get from me is from him. And of course, what Kobe meant by that is that a lot of Kobe's game came from Michael Jordan. He became the MVP type player he was because he studied a lot of Jordan's film. And he also got a ton of advice from Jordan, as we said. Going further, Kobe has said, I don't know if he opened up with me more than he did with other players. I'm not sure. I don't know if other players had the balls even to ask, but we have a really, really good relationship. As for Mike, he definitely cherished his friendship with Kobe, and emotionally, he still keeps his final texts with Kobe as a reminder of that friendship and the incredible man Kobe became. Here's what Jordan has said their last texts were. He was really into coaching Gigi, Mike explains, so I hit him up about that. Happy holidays, Jordan texted back, and hope to catch up soon. Coach Kobe? I added that little crying laughing emoji, Jordan chuckles. Ah, back at you, man. Hey coach, I'm sitting on the bench right now and we're blowing this team out, 45-8. I just love that text, Jordan said, because it shows Kobe's competitive nature. And in his Hall of Fame speech for Kobe, Jordan again was emotional and again just told the world about the friendship the two had. As Mike said, maybe it surprised people that Kobe and I were very close friends, but we were very close friends. Kobe was my dear friend. He was like a little brother. Everyone always wanted to talk about the comparisons between he and I just wanted to talk about Kobe. You can look up the whole speech yourself. I also do want to include this. What Kobe Bryant was to me was the inspiration that someone truly cared about the way either I played the game or the way that he wanted to play the game. He wanted to be the best basketball player that he could be. And as I got to know him, I wanted to be the best big brother that I could be. To me, guys, that's just truly incredible. I mean, it goes without saying, but of course I'm gonna say it. R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Gigi. You guys will always be missed, not only by just basketball fans, but just by the world in general. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, again, please remember to subscribe, turn on post notifications for more videos like this, and remember to please leave a like. It does help me out a ton with YouTube's algorithm. I do want to say thank you guys so much for all of your support recently. You have been awesome. And if you're already subscribed, you're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys. Again, R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Gigi, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are two videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.